We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast, episode number 71. Welcome to the We Make Movies podcast, making the world a better place, one film at a time. And now, here are your hosts, otherwise known as the director, the actress, and who the hell is that guy? Chad, Michelle, and Garrett. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast, the podcast that's all about how to get your movie made, how to get it seen by other people, and how to get it awesome. I'm your host, Garrett Robinson. With me, as always, faithful co-hosts, Chad Kukahiko and Michelle Lucadou, all of us independent filmmakers and members of the We Make Movies filmmaking community in Los Angeles. Also, apparently joining us today, person in the background who hopefully can be told that, yes, we can, in fact, hear him.
Yes.
All right. Hi, guys. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. That's a lie. I'm sick and I'm hungover. But, you know, whatever.
Excellent.
You do.
Google has apparently changed the font. I'm not super crazy about the font in my lower third, but
that's like fucking Times New Roman. What the fuck is wrong with them?
It's got like serifs and crap.
Is it?
I don't know.
No.
Bullshit.
Anywho, we took last week off, last minute, guys. So sorry about that. We didn't really warn anybody ahead of time, but
we do
lots going on.
Oh my God! Is anybody else just like life, just like so many things, all of the time, all of the time?
Yeah. We're about to launch something.
But good things. Garrett has good things, right?
Yes, I do have good things. As will be discussed in the show, and we all have good things. So since we are on a little bit of a time crunch today, let's just launch right into it. Michelle, you have something that's happening right now that you're not there for. What is happening?
I have something right now that is, yes, exactly. So obviously there's this whole Sundance thing going on, and I'm having a lot of FOMO. It makes me really sad.
FOMO?
For the people who don't know.
Is that anything like Froyo?
FOMO is fear of missing out. Hello. Anyway, no, it's not like Froyo.
I think that's FOMO, even less of a thing than me saying excrement, just for the record.
Oh, God. Neither of those things.
Anyway, but here's the good thing. My first news item I found out about, I got a little excited. So Sundance this year is live streaming a lot of their events. Monday through Saturday, except for Thursday, it's at 10:30 a.m. and Thursday's at 5 p.m. They're streaming Cinema Cafe on their website, which is amazeballs. So you can like see all these like famous, awesome, like more successful than me actors and filmmakers who are like famous and getting interviewed and shit, and it's like Robert Redford and George Lucas and Johnny Knoxville. Although I'm going to say that they should all probably never be mentioned in the same sentence, but still. Anyway, so you can go to Sundance's website, and you should go to Sundance's website and check it out because it's really cool.
It also looks like it's
not have FOMO.
It also looks like it's on their YouTube channel, which you would imagine, which is youtube.com/SFF. And I can see there's a whole lot of these that they're not live streaming right now, but a lot of them are labeled, live stream. So I imagine that they were live streamed when they're put up. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's badass. Good job.
I have some things to say about live streaming later on in the show. I think live streaming is the new wild frontier, and I think we should all get into it. But well done to Sundance for sticking themselves out there.
Word. You guys heard my theory, right?
Dirty joke somewhere.
No, what's your theory?
My theory about biopics in the future, that they're going to be on a 7-second delay from the incident.
That's right. Famous people are just going to go all Truman Show and have like 7 cameras following them at all time, and like a live editor running along with an iPad. All right, camera two. Okay,
we're joking, but this probably is going to happen.
Dude, he's taking a shit. Go to commercial break. All right,
just cut to the German feed.
All right. Well, I'm going to go into something a little bit more intense. Chad actually let me know about this story, which is like I should have totally been all over this, but Chad told me so. Thanks, Chad.
Of course.
So, Gamergate is still a thing that's happening, and I have talked about it a lot on this show, as Michelle was quick
What's
to point out.
Gamergate, Garrett? I've never heard of it.
Well, I would tell you to go look it up on Wikipedia, but I'm not going to do that anymore. Gamergate, man, it's still going on, sort of, despite the fact that like almost everyone involved, even some people who were like avidly pro Gamergate in the past, such as like Total Biscuit, a very famous online, he's a YouTube video game critic, the biggest YouTube gaming critic, not the biggest YouTube gamer, PewDiePie.
What does being pro Gamergate mean? Which side of the thing does pro Gamergate mean you're on?
Well, that depends on who you're asking. When Total Biscuit is pro Gamergate, he was like, I believe in Gamergate, and I believe that Gamergate is a movement for ethics in games journalism.
Ah.
And see, I can't fault him for saying that, you know, even though like I have my own like issues with it. Like he was one of the people who was like pro Gamergate, and when he explained his reasoning, it was like, awesome. I'm still totally anti Gamergate, but he's been doing it forever. You know what I mean? Like he has had that stance forever. But then at some point during the whole controversy, he just stepped back and he was like, we need to stop. Like I'm not doing anything with Gamergate anymore, et cetera, et cetera. But there's one like area of contention in the whole thing that hasn't received as much attention until this thing just happened, and that's Wikipedia. Wikipedia has this like internal arbitration council when there's disputes on the website, and recently this council banned 5 Wikipedia editors from editing articles about Gamergate, and further banned them from editing any article about feminism or like women's issues. Period. And these were all like feminist Wikipedia editors. And the reason was that there was this edit war going on the Gamergate Wikipedia page with editors, and this is a thing that happens on Wikipedia. Like some editor adds something to an entry, somebody else deletes it or like heavily modifies it, and the first person comes back and they're like, no, F you, and they're going to edit it again, and it goes just like back and forth until finally like the bosses of Wikipedia have to go, okay, everybody just calm the fuck down. So that's what they did, and the usual response is just to lock the article from further edits and like maybe get like a neutral party to go in and like do the final version of it and everything. So in this case, though, Wikipedia allowed pro-Gamergate editors to continue editing the article while banning anti-Gamergate editors from editing not only that article, but any article about feminism. So Wikipedia, of course, is supposed to be like the ultimate democratic encyclopedia. Anybody can go in and edit, even though it takes some time before you can actually become like an actual editor who can make like a real difference on the website. And while it's obvious that you will always have some editors who have a personal investment in any given issue, one would think that your goal would try to be to remove those editors from stories that they're personally invested in and let more neutral editors take over. In this case, that's completely not what happened, and the Arbitration Council gave like a very clear go-ahead to pro-Gamergaters to shape the site's article to paint Gamergate in a positive light. And this seems like this is really confusing because Jimmy Wales, the founder of Wikipedia and the guy who's like, whenever you log into Wikipedia and it's like, hey, we need $5 from you. Like, right. He's the guy. He's that guy who's always on those ads. And he recently came out with very strong opinions and strong words in opposition to Gamergate, saying that the movement isn't a movement, it's just kind of a meaningless hashtag with no leaders or structure. As a concept, like it has been hijacked by, quote, vicious assholes, unquote. Those are his actual words.
That's what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Wow.
But the Arbitration Council decision makes a little more sense when you understand that Jimmy Wales doesn't have his hands on a lot of the site's inner workings, and those workings are very intensely male-dominated. Only 1 in 10 Wikipedia editors is thought to be a female, and that's how to measure, which is...
Wow.
Yeah, for the record... Yeah, for the record, worse than representation of women in film.
In the gaming community.
Well, in the gaming community for sure, but like in film, and you know, like we've talked a lot on this show about how like, hey, maybe we could have more directors, maybe we could have more women writing movies, whatever. So, and it has actually had a measurable impact on the site's relevance and trustworthiness as perceived by female readers, as documented by rawstory.com. And this time, I actually preemptively included that link in the video description, so somebody can go down
and
there.
And, like, that's Gamergate in, like, the whole, at its core. You know what I mean? It's the inequality of it. Incidentally, if you do look up Gamergate as one word in Wikipedia, not to interrupt, a Gamergate is a reproductively viable female worker ant that is able to reproduce.
Well, that's I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's a different. That's a different thing. Yeah, that's a pre.
You need to go to the disambiguation page for that one.
But it's called Gamergate Controversy is what you look up on Wikipedia.
Is the actual article that the fighting's been going on over and everything. Right. So, listen, here's the deal. From the very beginning, and I've said this in all of my videos and everything, there are those within Gamergate who identify with the movement, who have good intentions and really do want sane reforms within gaming. I recognize that, and just like anything else, I don't really care what people choose to call themselves. I care about what they do, and my problem with Gamergate is just the number of people who do identify with the movement who do really terrible things. But at the same time, if somebody wants to identify with the movement and they only care about ethics and game journalism, I'm like, fair play. I don't really care. Just do your thing. Like, that's not a bad thing to want. But it is a leaderless movement, and it did begin with sexism and harassment. And by rallying under the banner, good people who join in give an air of legitimacy to the creepy people who started the hashtag in the first place, and that is my problem with it. As interest in the movement continues to go down, and if you look at the Google search trends, it's just it's just tanking. Like I said, major people have continued to step away from it completely. Total Biscuit has actually gone so far as he is never going to use the word again. He said that. He's never going to use the word Gamergate again. He's just like, I'm going to continue talking about ethics and game journalism because I've been doing that for half a decade. I'm just never going to say the name Gamergate again. He made a whole video and a whole post about it and everything like that. And he's always legitimately been about that, so that makes sense. But this Wikipedia story means that as far as the internet's history books are concerned, Gamergate will always have that much more legitimacy, and that legitimacy and that being attributed to the people who started the movement is the problem that I've had with it from the very beginning. So in my personal opinion, biased as it may be, if Wikipedia really wants to be viewed as the ultimate democratic encyclopedia, they need to revisit this decision because it's just kind of bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean what's interesting is the effect. What's the effect going to be on the viability of Wikipedia after this? Because this is really bad news. I mean, it's not only is it bad news, it's bad policy. And I know we don't have a ton of time to spend on this, but I think that I agree with you. I think that when you take a not that it's not valid, but when you take a valid point and then you put it against an even more valid point, you're going to lose. You know what I mean? I mean, feminism, unfortunately, feminism is still a thing that is necessary in this world. You know what I mean? If there was full equality, that'd be a different story. But every day you're hearing about this ridiculousness out in the world, with these good old boy systems and stuff like that. And it's a shame that something like Wikipedia is also subject to it. So
now this decision only happened a couple of days ago, and there hasn't been time for a response to the backlash. And I would not be surprised if Jimmy Wales did actually step in and be like, whoa. What the actual fuck? So we'll see.
I just think, I mean, as far as yes, feminism, yes, absolutely. But I mean, do we really, as people that are looking at Wikipedia, take it as? I take it with a grain of salt. I don't really trust anything on Wikipedia. I know a lot of people who have Wikipedia pages that are completely incorrect.
Right.
I mean, do we really give a shit about the validity of Wikipedia anyway?
No, for sure. I mean, here's the thing.
I use it.
Yeah, I use it a lot. They require citations, and so you can always track down the data and see where it came from. But what's interesting is what you're talking about is kind of a symptom of what they were talking about, like that article that I said that I linked in the description. women are like twice as likely to distrust Wikipedia as men simply because it's like a gigantic echo chamber for a bunch of dudes, you know? So, anyway.
Of course. Well, now that I know, I mean,
Right.
1 in 10? Okay.
You know where my mind went immediately upon hearing that statistic?
To the penis behind me?
No. No. I did not know there was a penis behind you.
Look at Michelle. Tilt your camera down again.
I have a wooden penis.
That's a penis.
That's hilarious.
Carved out of a tree.
Yeah.
And it went to how many? It went to what's that syndrome that's like autism? It's like in the autism spectrum that it's like
Tourette's?
super. No, super detail oriented and blah blah. It's killing me. You don't know them? Asperger's.
Asperger's, yes.
I immediately went to because it seems to me that Wikipedia people are probably people with Asperger's by and large. I mean, I don't know. That was what I thought, and I was like, I wonder if men are more likely to have Asperger's.
Sound bite of the podcast.
Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next topic if that's okay with you guys.
Do it. It's happier.
If you've been online at all this week, you probably already noticed the Oatmeal's new Kickstarter campaign. It blew up. It started last week. I think it was Tuesday. It's been out for 5 days, and they were looking to make $10,000 over the course of 30 days. They made that in something like 20 minutes, and they're 5 days in now. They are very nearly at $4 million. Now it's it's a card game, mind you. It's the Oatmeal, and the video is hilarious. The game also looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, it's called Exploding Kittens, by the way.
And the people behind it is also obviously a key factor. Not just the Oatmeal, but like when you look at the game developers, you're like, he's done that and that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's actually how I knew about it. But I mean, I don't think Elan Lee or Shane Small have I'll get into that later. We'll get into that later. But I mean, that is a good point. I mean, in fact, that's actually what I was about to say. The guy whose page it's on Kickstarter, Elan Lee. It's Elan Lee, Matt Inman, who is the Oatmeal, and then Shane Small. I don't know anything about Shane Small. Unfortunately, I'm sure he's amazing at what he does. But Elan Lee is he's a luminary in the alternate reality game world. He's one of the guys who invented the alternate reality game. I've been following him for a long time. Actually, the ad agency where I work, we used to rep their PR for a company that he started called eDoc Laundry years and years ago. This is probably like 7-8 years ago. It was a long time ago, and it was like an alternate reality game based in clothing. Like you would have to buy clothing, and there were codes and stuff in the T-shirts and whatnot. It was really
what
really
a freaking genius!
Awesome.
Yeah, the guys.
Oh my God!
Unfortunately, it didn't last too long. It got an obscene amount of PR. We actually, the PR girls here actually won some awards because of it. But it didn't survive very long. He ever since he started alternate reality games, he's been trying to find ways to kind of monetize them. If you don't know what an alternate reality game is, by the way, just actually, ironically, you should look up the Wikipedia because it's actually quite good. I hate to say that. I hate to promote Wikipedia based on that first article, but it is actually quite good.
I believe in Jimmy Wales. I have no problem with Wikipedia. I just have problems with that one thing.
Anyway, Elan Lee is a really, really, really nice guy. He's a really cool guy. He gave me like an hour of his time back when I first started Last Stage Journal, that like zombie apocalypse survivor social network I started back in 2007. But he has more recently, he was like the chief design officer over at Xbox Entertainment Studios, and then apparently the studio was folded up recently, and so he started this thing. And I met his brother recently, so I haven't, Elan's kind of famous in the world, in the transmedia world, so I've met him on a couple different occasions, but he's like famous people, they have like, force fields, he's super cool, and he's very approachable.
Force fields.
Yeah, like.
Fuck, I want to become famous. That's been like a dream my entire life. I want a fucking force field.
I saw, what's his name? I saw Dustin Hoffman at the Sky Bar one time when I first moved to LA, and he had a flesh force field. He had human beings just surrounding him. It's hilarious. They're like heavenly bodies. Anyway, so yeah, $10,000 in like 20 minutes. This is actually, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but there's so much cool shit to talk about just regarding this particular thing, because Kickstarter has obviously been doing really well for certain things, but the biggest things, the things that do really, really, really well are like tech. For a long time, the company, the campaign that held on to the highest selling, Kickstarter, the highest selling, the highest earning Kickstarter campaign for a long time was Pebble. The Pebble, it's the device. It's like a watch, but it connects to your phone. It's really cool. I bought one, and they held on to it for like years until very recently. Coolest Cooler, they had like a little over $10 million. They actually stopped. They quit it on their own, like 3 weeks away from the end, because they knew that they wouldn't be able to make all the pebbles in the amount of time that they. Anyway, Coolest Cooler won out recently. They got about 13 million, and I was like, when I saw that they hadn't stopped it as they were getting bigger, I was like, there's no way these guys are going to fulfill their what they're promising that they're going to fulfill. This is a card game. Exploding Kittens is a card. This is gonna be a breeze. These guys are like, they're just gonna destroy. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna plateau. I'm gonna be watching this, and there's 25 days left, so there's like 3 or 4 more Film Geeks between now and the end. It's crazy.
God.
They're already.
What was it? Reading Rainbow that made so much as well.
It made a lot, yeah. It didn't make anywhere near what this is looking like it's going to end up with. I mean, I was watching it like the first couple days. I was watching it, and it was insane how quickly it was going up. It was just going up, and you would watch it, and it'd be like somebody did the math at one point, and it was like $900 a minute. That's how much money they were raising.
Well, I need to change
my underpants. We didn't make that much on our Kickstarter.
Well, Matt, I mean, that's the thing is that Elan Leism.
We didn't have Exploding Kittens.
No, you didn't have. Well, you didn't have the Oatmeal. I mean, that's the thing is like we're about to launch a Kickstarter campaign with for Dominic Oliver's piece, and it's a very funny piece, and it's a really cool piece. But he doesn't have the Oatmeal, and I keep asking of the different stars, and there's people who've done a ton of stuff. One of the actors did he was one of the leads in David Lynch's TV show, whatever the crap that was called. It's slipping my mind, but you guys know. Come on, say the name. You know the name. David Lynch's TV show. Fire Walk With Me was the movie. Twin Peaks. Okay, so Twin Peaks.
Yeah, there we go.
Twin Peaks. Another guy was on General Hospital. And then they just got a new guy who apparently has kind of a resume as well. But the thing is it's online, like social followers are key to this kind of thing. If you have a network online, that's how this happens. Oatmeal's already a viral phenomena. He's had so many different things. He's got a massive following. People love him. I love him. I think he's great.
He's fantastic. Those comics are some of the best things ever.
And then that's why I think it's doing so well. You know what I mean? And that's why people don't take that into account, and they make certain decisions about what is true and what is not true about what's going to happen on Kickstarter. Like people are predicting it. Nobody would have predicted this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even with the Oatmeal's following, nobody would have predicted this. I mean,
you'd predict a success, but you wouldn't predict this.
Not this. This is insanity. I mean, it's blowing up so ridiculously fast, and it's a card game. You know what I mean?
It's blowing up, but it's like, I mean, it's exponential too. So it blows up a little bit, and then someone talks about it, and it blows up a little bit more, and then it goes. I mean, it's either you have $10,000, you have like 9 million.
Yeah, that's the nature of virility, I guess. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for.
Not the right word.
Yep.
Virility is what I have.
You have like 20 kids.
Yeah.
You're like not even 30. You have like 20 kids. That is virility, without a doubt. Viralness.
20 kids. Who knew?
I know, it's going to be like 4 dozen by the time the podcast is done. Anyway, we don't have a lot of time. We should probably move on to the next thing. But
indeed,
watch it. Fascinating. Exploding Kittens.
I actually have something to say on the next one.
Sweet. Oh, is it? It's me. Okay,
you
so
what?
You arranged the segment, so Blake, you have no one but yourself.
Kill it.
I know, that's true. Okay, so moving on. as I've been promising, I'm going to keep you guys up to date on what happens with the interview because it's obviously the kind of thing that I'm very interested in. It became available on Netflix yesterday, and it's already made $40 million in video on demand, and that, by my research, could very well be the biggest VOD to date take home of any film. Now, as I talk about all the time, it's completely possible that there are some bigger films, some of the really, really big films that have made more, like some of the comic book films maybe, but no one's, they don't really report that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very secretive, for some reason VOD numbers are extremely hard to come by. Nobody really releases them unless there's some kind of PR reason. And the interview, they've had a lot of PR reasons because it's really, because of the whole Sony hack and everything. They thought they was going to die, and it made $40 million. I think it cost about $40 million. But this is the thing. A few weeks ago, when they hit $31 million, Sony actually announced that was at that point the interview was their all-time best-selling VOD seller.
Right.
So that was at $31 million. So, and I don't think Sony has. I think Sony has like the Spider-Man stuff, but they don't have the Marvel stuff. I'm not sure. I don't really follow that stuff as well as I probably should. But that means, that's a pretty big sign. If
That's
all of
huge.
Sony studios, at 31 million was the biggest. But
and I would be surprised if any other titles have ever done close to that, because Amazing Spider-Man, when it comes out on VOD, you're probably going to get a lot of people who get it who wouldn't consume it another way. But you have a lot of people who have already seen it in theaters and just skip. Whereas the interview, VOD was the only way you could see it for the majority of people. So I actually watched it.
But those comic book movies, I get them all on VOD too. Because I want them. Because I enjoy them. So
I don't know that you're the typical American consumer, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe. But I watched it.
No, you're not. But it became
so
like
much sexier.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're much sexier.
So much sexier.
No, I think it. Go ahead.
I got it on YouTube, and I actually watched the film. And the other thing that probably helped a lot on VOD, other than the marketing, the PR, and the Sony hack, and all of that crap, it's actually funny. Like, it's good really movie. It's exactly what you think it is. It's mindless comedy.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid, but it's so funny.
Yeah, Michelle, you muted yourself.
Michelle, you muted yourself somehow.
It's better than a lot of comparable mindless comedies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, use good lightly. Yeah, please use good lightly.
Right, exactly.
Well,
for what it is, it's excellent.
That quote that's still probably my favorite quote of any movie quote of all time is that at Tucson, when I was in Tucson over Christmas break, and the local Tucson News went and interviewed the guy who was coming out of a movie theater, and they're like, well, what would you rate it out of 5 stars? And he said, I'd give it 4. I would have given it 5, but it was really stupid. Still my favorite quote.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well done to Sony. I'm glad that the movie did come out. If you want something silly to watch with a girlfriend or your spouse or something like that, pick it up. It's funny. It's funny. It is.
It's funny. It is really not if they're like really Christian.
You think?
Totally. I'd totally watch it on a date. Megan and I did. We watched it on a date night.
But you and Megan are exceptional.
Well, in more ways than one. Primarily in our
400 children.
Because we have 17,000 children.
Very virile.
The number goes up every single time. I just want to clarify for anybody out there. I have three children. 3. All right.
And you're 12 years old. So
and I am 12 years old. That is a bit of a problem.
3 dozen.
Yeah.
3 dozen children.
Romeo and Juliet laws forgive us, and we'll spend 5 minutes of the show explaining how it's actually okay. So anyway,
okay.
If anybody didn't get the Transformers joke, that was a joke on the latest Transformers. Anyway.
I think I saw it. I don't know how many other people saw it.
A lot of Chinese people.
Transformers joke is not, no.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn. I have shit to say.
Do it.
Okay, so this is for the actors out there, because, I report on the actor news. A lot of us, I'm going to geek out on a little audition nugget I discovered recently.
Nugget.
Nugget. I am asked to put myself on tape for a lot of auditions for things like whatever. I have an Atlanta agent for things that are out of town. I would put a thing on tape tomorrow for this film in Paris and like whatever. So you have to put yourself on tape a lot. This happens. Whatever. It's the world. It's a fucking pain in the ass because then I have to take all of my lights from my house and I have to take all of the freaking, lampshades off and I have to put them all on in there and I have to light myself and then I have to like set up my little wireless lav and put my camera on, like blah, blah, blah. And then I have to get one of my friends who's not a shitty ass actor to come and read with me and then I have to whatever and then I have to upload it and then I have to do it and whatever. It's a pain in the ass. So I found this place. It's called Warner Lachlan. It's an acting school, but they do it for you. They have a studio that's already set up and it's well lit and they've got a badass camera and sound equipment and they have an acting coach that reads with you and they let you do it as many takes as you want and you live your life and you do it and it's only $50. It's stupid,
Damn.
stupid $50.
Wow.
And so it's in LA, so you have to do it if you're in LA. But then they let you pick your takes. So then you do it and you like do your scene and you live your life and then you go and you watch it. And the last thing I put on tape there, or the first thing, I've only put one thing on tape there. I'm going to do one tomorrow. I went and I was like, oh, I look busted in that take. I need to brush my hair. And she's like, cool. We went back in the studio and just did a bunch more. And she's like, cool. And we went back and I was like, I don't know. Can I like, do this and try this? She's like, sure. $50. And then they upload it, they edit it together with like all of your agent information at the front and the back and like what it is, and they send it to whoever you want, and it's $50 freaking bucks.
That's
it's
awesome.
Amazeballs.
That's amazing.
So it's thumbs up. I know that $50 is $50, but like sometimes it's worth it not to have to call all of your friends and be like, hey boo, can you come like read with me, big whatever. So if you're an actor, you need to put yourself on tape. Do it.
I love your impersonation of yourself. This is actually a really cool thing because I have people asking me all the time for this kind of stuff, and I've had some people pay me. I never like when I do favors for friends, even if I'm editing their reels. If I can fit it into my schedule, I'll just do it. If they want to pay me, I'm not gonna like Yelp about it, but I by no means actually expect them to or ask.
Might not Yelp about it, but you might Foursquare about it. I'm sorry. I apologize. That joke.
Oh.
That joke negatively affected the intellect of everybody that heard it. So I would like to apologize to my co-hosts and to our audience.
But that's a cool thing. We should definitely, if you have the link or something, we should definitely include that in the show notes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's warnerlachlan.org, but yeah, I'll send you the link.
If you give me the link, I should actually be able to add it. No, I have to add it after the show. Anyway, super cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about Twitch again. I feel like I just talk about the same three things over and over again. I talk about Gamergate, talk about Twitch, and I talk about whatever's happening in Marvel. But I'm doing it. I'm talking about Twitch. I've talked about it on the show a lot, so consider this a running update of how the service is going for me. So I've kept streaming video game content. I've picked up some followers. Not making any great amount of money from it at all, but there are the odd few donations here and there, which is cool. Every little bit helps. But last week I tried a thing, literally exactly 1 week ago. 1 week ago, 7 days back. Why am I having so much trouble talking right now? So I did a 24-hour stream, played video games for 24 hours to celebrate the release of my new book, Mystic. And it was, I got this huge increase in book sales. I just sold a crap ton of books on that day, and I didn't do like the graph is like ding 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 spike and then down again, and I didn't do anything different other than just doing the live stream for literally 24 hours. The title of the stream probably had like a little bit to do with it. People who are browsing Twitch aren't used to seeing online book launch party, so they're like, oh, what's that? And I had a bunch of friends and readers, like I notified them in advance that it was happening. So throughout the day, people kept popping into the chat and being like, "Hey, dude, congrats on the book. How's it going? Yada yada yada." And that started to draw in new people who were Twitch viewers who had never heard of me before. And they start asking me in the chat, like, oh, so like you're an author, huh? What's your book? What's it about? Is it the second one series, first one? Da, da, da. And then they went ahead and got it. Some got the paperback, some got the ebook, and I always sell a lot more ebooks than paperbacks, and the spike was in the paperback sales. The ebook sales, which is like, what the hell? I have like 20.
You're bearing the lead here. Hold on a second. Did you get a catheter? I mean, how did you play?
No, I mean, obviously you go like, hey guys, I'm going to the bathroom, and you put up like, you have a little like, be right back screen, and you load that up on the stream and everything.
What did you do when you needed to eat food and stuff?
I had my wife bring me food, and she would like pop in and she would say hi, like do the whole thing. Like it was a whole coordinated activity with my family. I didn't just like lock the door and be like, no, fuck off,
I recently heard about swatting. You know swatting, yes?
Swatting.
That's like when there are famous Twitch users.
Right.
People will call the SWAT team. Basically, they'll call in a fake thing, and then the SWAT team will come and break in, and like people have like almost gotten killed. Actually,
yeah.
It's not a funny thing. I mean, it's an awful crime.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
yeah. But anyway, sorry. You're lucky you didn't get swatted.
Yeah, that's not a very common thing, especially like.
No, yeah.
Especially if you. I mean, I'm fucking tiny,
Right,
like,
no, it's the huge ones that they go after.
Right, and even then, like, there's a bunch of streamers that I watch, and they've never been swatted before, and some of them are actually douchebags. You would expect that somebody would, but no, because somebody's got to trace down your IP address, they got to get your home address, and then they got to call the local PD station, blah 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 blah. So anyway, this is the kind of thing though that I'm talking about. Live streaming video is something that not a lot of creators are using a lot. Actually, I won't even qualify that. Not a lot of creators are using live streaming video. Even YouTubers, even like big YouTubers, if you look at the Vlogbrothers, for example, they do a live stream once a year. And I'm just like, you should be doing way more live streaming events. And obviously they're on YouTube, and YouTube isn't as big on the whole live streaming thing. But anyway, the creators that are using it tend to only be using it in like one way. Either they just stream video games, and that's like literally what they do, and a lot of people have turned that into a full-time job, which I'm just like, ugh. And then a lot of people do it for like little hangouts with their audience and everything like that. There are more ways to use what's going on. There are more ways to use it than I think people are taking advantage of, and I think that it's a good thing to do. You just have such a personal connection, If somebody's in your chat talking with you and you're like talking back to them live on the video stream, that's way more personal than even being on YouTube, because YouTube is all pre-recorded and it's edited and everything like that. So I'm going to keep experimenting, trying new things, and I hope that you guys in our audience will start futzing around too. We've lost Michelle, haven't we?
Yeah, it looks like she fell through the cracks there apparently, but that's fine. We'll move on, and hopefully she'll be back before long. I think it's actually really cool, and it is, there's so many possibilities, and I haven't seen anybody except for those live TV musicals and stuff like that. I haven't seen a bunch, but there is a lot of room. I'd be interested in putting something together. It might be interesting. I mean, we have the means, the technical means. Obviously, we're going to try to first start doing our regular, our regular workshops. But yeah, no, I think it's a great idea, and I know we've talked about it before. So I think there are specific. But you know what? Honestly, there should be scripted stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No reason not to.
Absolutely. I mean, if you have obviously the resources, it require more resources. But since we've lost Michelle, I just switch the order around a little bit. So I'm gonna move on to my next topic. But this is hopefully we'll also be on Twitch soon as well instead, because I know we talked about that last week. Anyway, Amazon may that's. Hold on a second. Sorry, it looks like
there she is.
You okay? Is she back?
It looks like she's back. She's back in. Well, go ahead. Carry on with the thing.
Well, it looks like there's a little boo-boo on this. Hold on a second. You go ahead and to your thing. You go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna do. So I'll do my next segment because somehow that got copied over. That's fantastic. Hey, Michelle, you're back. You're muted.
Is she back?
She is. She just muted herself, or the thing muted her automatically because she joined midstream.
What's up, bitches?
What's up?
Sorry.
What's up?
I had to go away and do some shit. No, I'm just
So you want to do a little rant?
I was hanging out with my friend back here, that big fucking wooden penis.
Yes.
No, I internet shit. Did
Rant
I miss
to
what
us,
I
Michelle.
missed, people?
Nothing. You missed nothing. Rant.
Go ahead.
Oh, my turn?
Yes.
It is.
Okay. I literally wrote age and actors rant. Okay, so I have a friend who introduced me to this manager who's like fucking badass, right?
Okay.
And so I met him, and he came to see me do a thing that I was doing, and he was like, yeah, you're great. And so I sent him my shit on camera, and he was like, yeah, you're great. And then so we had coffee, and he was like, yeah, you're great. Like, he's badass. Like, I mean, he's going to send me in for a project or Claire Danes on a project. So, so I met him for coffee after he had seen me do my thing, and like we were like clicking. It was great, and he was like, you know, cool, you know, who's your old agent? And we were talking, and you know, yada yada. I was like, yeah, they were like, you know, you're too old. And he was like, well, how old are you? And I was like, somebody told me not to tell you how old I am. And he was like, well, you know, come on, you tell me, it's fine, it's not a big deal, tell me how old you are. And I was like, well, I usually play like 25, 26 to like 35. And he's like, yeah, but like, how old are you? Like, I'd be your manager. And I was like, okay, I'll tell you. And so I told him how old I am, which is not that fucking old, but still, I told him how old I was. And he shut down. And then, you know, he like had to leave very soon thereafter, and then he called my friend who was our mutual friend that had hooked us up, and he was like, yeah, listen, I wanted to sign her, I think she's really great, but like she told me how old she was. I was like, but you asked. And he was like, yeah, you know, but he was like, you know, you asked, but you know, she asked, but like, I can only see her as that age now. I'm like, well,
wow.
So really? So it's like not what you play, it's what you are, and then like people are so closed-minded. And my friend was like, oh my god, why did you tell him your age? Why in the world would you tell him your age? So here's the thing, like there's this thing in LA since I've been here, and it doesn't really happen in New York as much, but like there's this age thing in LA that happens with actors. And if people know, and when I first moved here, it was like, don't tell anybody your age. I'm like, haha, that's funny. No, yeah, whatever. I'm very truthful. Like, I'm proud of being a grown-up. But no, literally, people were like, no, don't tell people your age because you will lose jobs.
Yeah.
Inevitably, you will lose jobs. So, I mean, okay, so there's a few things I want to talk about. First of all, for all of you actors out there, shut the fuck up. Don't tell anybody your age. Ever. Even if you're like, whoa, I'm so young, because like you pigeonhole yourself because apparently no one has any imagination whatsoever. Second of all, I just think it's so ridiculous in this business that it's so age-centric, especially with women. Women are so discriminated against that are older. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
No, it's pretty much BS. You know what's funny is that like it's something that we know in filmmaking and in storytelling in general, that like here's what happened, right? He had his own idea of you, his own picture, his own projection or whatever.
Yeah. He thought I was 25. I'm not.
As soon as you gave him a fact, he was as soon as you gave him a fact, he was unable to see whatever he was thinking before because he knew the truth. You know what I mean? Like that's a thing that you do in filmmaking and in writing books and everything, is like you leave gaps out so that the reader can like fill in the rest with their own imagination. You shouldn't have to do that in personal relations. You know what I mean? So
well,
it's
he also like there are actual sort of like laws and stuff against him asking, to be honest.
Really?
And that's he actually put himself in some serious liability by even asking. That's kind of the truth. I don't know the specifics of it, but it is, you know, there are things called protected classes, and I think ageism is, you know what I mean? It's not, regardless of your opinion about that, that is a fact. You could actually make a case against him if you wanted to. I'm super against litigiousness, but he shouldn't have asked. I mean, you're probably, he did put himself in some pretty bigger liability than I think he maybe realizes.
Michelle's like, I'm gonna sue him.
No, I mean, like, I actually like him. Like, he's a good dude. Like, we clicked. It was great. It's just like I don't know. He went to like an I can't sell this place. But, I mean, you realize that in this business, especially as an actor, it's absolutely not about truth at all.
Yeah.
Well,
and
it's storytelling.
What's really sad is because, like, truth, acting is truth. That is what it is. Acting is truth. And, like, bringing out the truth of the scene, bringing out the truth of the character. But, like, in the business, acting is the opposite.
Totally.
Which is so disgusting.
Not the actual truth. I mean, it's obviously not the actual truth. It is a representation of what, you know what I mean? It's a reflection of, you know what I mean? So I think that people gotta, probably one of the biggest lessons I learned when I was an actor is how to separate that. And it's extremely important for you to understand that it is a business after all, and if you want to make a living at it, you have to understand the business part of it. And that's one. That's like, you never ever say an age, say a range. That's what everybody I know. Oh, I'm 35 to 45. You know, that's what you tell people, and they have no. It's none of their business. Is the truth. You know what I mean? It really is. It's really none of their business. How do they see you? How does the camera see you? How does if they want to know your age, turn a freaking camera on and turn it on you. You know what I mean? Like that's
in today's day and age, though. I mean, like if you do a little digging on the internet, it's not hard to find anyone's age. Yeah, and like if you were representing me, then you would inevitably like see my date of birth on forms. You know, it's just. I think ageism.
That's not necessarily true. I know a lot of people who are big, you know, and one person in particular whose name I will not mention, and she is online about 8 to 10 years younger than she actually is. And it's hilarious. Like everywhere you look, you see this other age, you know, and it's, you know, it's fine. You know, I think that she did that for a specific reason. It makes complete sense to me. I don't see anything wrong with it as an actor to do that kind of stuff. Totally. It's part of, you know, it's like polishing your vacuum cleaner if you're a vacuum salesman. You know what I mean?
Miss him?
It's Anyway, I know we're really short on time. We should probably jump into the.
I just want to say, like, because I've been staying mostly silent on the whole thing, but like, it is a really shitty part of the culture of this industry, but it is a part of the culture of this industry. Yeah. So like the big takeaways are: it totally sucks. It absolutely blows that things are this way. They should not be this way. However, they are this way. Don't ever tell anybody how old you are.
I have no judgment about it.
Learn, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I don't think it's great, and I don't think it's awful. I think it is what it is. And to be completely honest with you, I just think that it's marketing. You have to see it as that. And if you don't see it as that, you need to shift the way you think, or else you're going to get bit in the ass by it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's move on. We're gonna have to wrap up now. I have things I need to take care of. My 80,000 children. Or what's the number up to right now? Do I have 2 million children?
400.
Well, 400 I was children. At like 400, and you dropped it down to 3 like a boring person. But whatever.
So we'll end off with some community news. First of all, please rate the show on iTunes. That is one of the most helpful things you can do for us as the show is pop on over to iTunes, leave us a star rating and a review. That helps other people find us, and there can be more film geeks to hang out with in the future. This week, 7:30 p.m., the Theater Asylum in Hollywood is What's Next. We will have filmmakers with projects that are in development or already shot and in post-production. They will bring their projects by. They will ask you for feedback, helping turn their films from script into an actual finished product. There should be some very, very good pieces. That is, of course, arranged by Mr. Beatty and Mr. And Mrs.
Ms.
Who does that? It's Heather, isn't it?
Heather Fusari.
Yes. All right. So they're going to put that on. It's always a fantastic event. And then, Chad, any new cool updates on the Patreon?
Well, Patreon is moving along. We're well over the 1,600. It starts
on the Patreon.
It starts.
It's just it's the never-ending battle.
It starts at the beginning of each month. So January was done. So we'll see exactly what happens. We didn't actually. There was one guy out of Vegas, and I'm sure he meant well, but his money never came through. He anyway. Seems like a nice enough guy. He's still on there as if his money will come through at the beginning of February, but I don't know if it will. I don't know exactly what's going on. But not him included, or including him, whatever, if it does actually come through, we're actually over 1,700, which means that the rolling production fund will in earnest begin, and then we have some very, very cool, interesting news regarding how that will pan out and what exactly we're going to do with that coming out very soon online. I'm going to go ahead and jump into. I don't know. Okay, Michelle, do you have any things to know?
I'm really fucking cool.
Excellent.
No, I actually do have things to know. I shot a feature film this week. It's called Broom Street Boys. Playing a hooker in the 1980s. It was very exciting. So if you want to check them out, they're on IMDb. Broom Street Boys. No, actually, it was
Hooker with a black heart of evil.
I was just a hooker, a nasty hooker. Anyway, so if you want to check it out, you can check them out on Twitter at Boys Broom Boys. That's Broom with an E, or you can just go to IMDb and look at the Broom Street Boys. It's totally fun. So
cool.
Yeah. Night shoots for a really long time. It was really tired and really cold and really naked.
I know that Garrett already talked about what's next with the community news. I just wanted to reiterate that it is a kind of a cool development in the evolution of We Make Movies. I don't think I've ever seen this particular kind of thing, at least on an ongoing basis, coming from any of our, competitors, compatriots, of any of the other people that do this kind of thing out there. So, it's really good. If you want to understand how production works, how post-production works, you should definitely come. This is kind of where the rubber meets the road regarding post-production, so definitely come this Wednesday night. Also, Tuesday's my birthday. And
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, child.
Wow. You realize you just ruined this for YouTube for us, right?
Happy birthday.
Don't finish it. Don't finish it. This is copywritten. That is a copywritten song. Yep. All right. Which, by the way, costs way too much to use even in a movie. Why you did it here, I don't know.
No, didn't they overturn that? Didn't they?
No, dude.
I'm pretty sure.
Nope.
No.
For he's a jolly good fellow, that's why they sing. Anyway, one super last thing is Sam Messman's new podcast that comes out every Friday has blown up. It is a big hit. He's kind of, I didn't realize this, but he's kind of a big to-do in the Final Cut Pro X world. So check it out. It's called Film Central. I'm actually a guest on an upcoming episode. I don't know if it's the next one or not, but yeah, check it out. Yeah.
Excellent. And I will end off with the final thing to know. I put out a new book last week. It's called Mystic. It's right here. There's the paperback. I don't know how well that's going to show up on the YouTube video, but it's quite a sexy little book. And you can check it out on my website, garrettbrobinson.com. It's available in ebook, or you can get a signed paperback for the regular price.
Dude, don't start the music yet. I just totally forgot something. I can't believe I didn't do this.
Okay.
My Tuesday morning, my film is playing on Thursday, February 12th. It's coming up. I know we have one more film, Geeks, maybe two. Maybe I didn't need to rush this. But anyway, February 12th. It's a work day. Thursday, February 12th, 1 p.m. So if you work a regular day job, you'll have to take it off and come see it at the Pasadena International Film Festival. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
And if you decide to hang out after that, they're starting at 6:00 p.m. at the Westin in Pasadena. There is a little shindig, red carpet event, past hors d'oeuvres and drinks, and the awards for the Pasadena International Film Festival, and I'll be there hosting red carpet along with Chad Kukihiko and a bunch of other fabulous folks like Eric Roberts and Michael Gross and Doris Roberts.
At the Westin Pasadena? That's what it's called?
At the Westin in Pasadena, the Westin Hotel.
Get a room that night.
Ow!
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Sorry. Hi, Kendall. Ow.
Done?
Anywho.
All right, with that, I'm ending it. I'm ending it. The music's happening. I'm calling an end to the show.
Do it.
Thank you for tuning into the We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast. We will be back next week, Sunday, 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we usually are. I'm Garrett Robinson. You can find me at GarrettBRobinson.com. Chad is on the internet at superfreako.com, and Michelle is on Twitter at mlucadoo. We'll see you next week, everybody. Good night.